Back to the Future. Could it actually happen with a real time machine?
I was devastated. I thought if I could build a time machine that I could go back and see him again and tell him what was going to happen, maybe save his life. And so that became an obsession for me.
Building on Einstein, Mallet believes he can bend time and space using light.
If I'm able to twist time into a loop, I can go from the past to the present to the future, but I'm on a loop, so I can go from the future back to the past.
What if someone tried to bend the very laws of physics only to vanish in the process? This is the unbelievable true story of Mike Markham, the inventor who disappeared while building a machine he thought could control time, only to reappear years later with a warning that rocked the world of time travel. Get ready for a journey where science meets mystery and obsession meets legend.
So, what a wormhole enables, by the way, if you manage to travel someplace faster than light, you have the capacity to move backwards in time.
The man who tried to bend time. Long before he was known as the Time Machine Man, Mike Markham was an unusual kid in Missouri. Instead of spending his time on games or sports, Mike roamed scrapyards collecting old TVs, wires, and metal scraps, a childhood spent tinkering and experimenting. His bedroom looked more like an inventor's messy lab, overflowing with buzzing devices and tangled cords. Mike was self-taught, using only a battered toolbox and endless curiosity. Neighbors thought he was strange but called him the electric kid due to his wild experiments like attaching car batteries to doorbells or lighting bulbs with bits of wire. By his early 20s, Mike's hobby had turned into an obsession, not just playing with electricity, but mastering it.
Well, the cool thing about Mike is he built his own time machine.
DIY'd it, baby.
And the really weird thing about it is that after he time traveled, he has not been seen or heard from since 2015 as far as like officially verified accounts or encounters.
The garage that defied time, Mike's first serious invention, took shape in a friend's shed, a classic Jacob's ladder, two upright metal rods with a spark of blue electricity climbing between them. He discovered using a cheap laser kept the electric arc steady. Powering it with salvaged transformers, Mike filled the space with ozone and energy. In January 1995, he dropped a steel screw between the rods. It vanished for a moment, then popped back into view as if it had slipped through a crack in reality. Mike was stunned. In the weeks leading up to his legendary experiment, Mike's obsession began affecting more than just his workshop. It changed his daily life and relationships in subtle but telling ways. Friends noticed that he was sleeping less, barely eating and rarely leaving his garage except to scavenge for new parts. The walls of his small home became lined with not just blueprints and wires, but also hastily scribbled notes about energy fields and magnetic fluctuations. Even neighbors who had once dismissed him as eccentric started whispering about the strange lights flickering at odd hours, the occasional sound of laughter or shouting echoing late at night. Whether he realized it or not, Mike was becoming more isolated with every passing day, his world shrinking to the size of that humming, unpredictable machine. He described his experiment on a late-night radio call-in show, and listeners were captivated. Letters poured in, some warning him to stop, others encouraging his work. Determined, Mike pushed for proof. He even borrowed massive transformers from a power yard. The resulting surge caused a blackout and landed him in jail for 60 days. But even there, his mind raced with diagrams and possibilities. On release, he rebuilt his machine, now using equipment he could buy legally, recording every experiment. His supporters sent money and advice. Others feared his obsession could end in disaster. Each night, Mike hunched over his invention, chasing that magical moment when reality bent to his will. A glimpse into the impossible as experiments continued. The machine produced more than vanishing screws. One night, Mike claimed a swirling, glowing energy field formed above the Jacob's ladder, a shimmering heat wave that bent the air and filled the room with a faint hum. He began tossing metal bolts and wire into the field. Each object disappeared for a few seconds, then re-emerged just inches away. Mike believed he had found a way to nudge objects forward or backward in time. He felt close to something world-changing. In interviews, he described his hopes of bending nature's rules, bringing science fiction to life. But with every breakthrough, the risks grew. As power levels surged, the machine became erratic. Objects flickered in and out, sometimes coming back altered or damaged. Concerned friends began to worry. The inventor who vanished by late 1996, Mike sounded different, no longer the excitable tinker but a tense and haunted man. On Coast to Coast AM, he confessed his machine didn't work as before. Energy pulsed, objects flickered, and even small animals returned altered. Objects would appear confused, weak, even sick, leaving listeners chilled. Mike promised one last update the following March, but when the night came, he was gone. No phone calls, no letters, no sign of life for weeks. Then tragedy struck. A fire engulfed his home, destroying the garage and much of the evidence. In the center of the charred remains, a deep scorched ring implied something had vanished. Authorities found no body. Mike was missing officially. Only one note survived. It's not about time. It's about how you see things. The mystery grows. Markham's story exploded online and in newspapers with wild theories spreading. Did he die in the fire? Or did he really slip through time, never to return? Forums buzzed with claims. A body found on a California beach years earlier, dressed oddly and carrying a mysterious metallic gadget. Was it Mike, lost decades before his birth? Others believed government interference or a flaw in the machine erased him from existence. Markham became a legend, a scientific cautionary tale with paranormal twists. The shocking return by 1999, the internet was flooded with Markham rumors. Users debated whether he'd traveled forward, backward, or simply died. Some, citing an old 1930s case, linked Markham to a mysterious corpse with futuristic clothing and a strange device. The theory, Markham was launched back instead of forward. Even stranger events followed. In 2006, an Oregon professor received an anonymous email with hand-drawn blueprints. Vortex stabilization frame, Generation 3, signed only Mike. The address traced to a library in Hawaii, then disappeared again. Then, in 2022, new evidence emerged. An Ohio couple discovered a locked box in their farmhouse attic. The faded tag read, M. Mike Markham. Do not open until the right time. Inside were journals, circuit boards, and a Polaroid of a young man beside a ring of wires labeled June 21, 2021. It did work, but not the way I thought. 2 weeks later, a pale, older man arrived at their door, claiming to be Mike Markham. He brought a folder detailing the experiment and its consequences. The truth comes out, Markham explained. His machine didn't bend time. It scrambled his rhythm with the world. He wandered America for years, invisible and forgotten. Each experiment erased memories, first his own, then those of people helping him. Time wasn't conquered. It erased him from life. He revealed that every test consumed his identity. People closest to him soon forgot his name. Faces blurred, bonds vanished entirely. Mike swore he would never rebuild the machine again and left before sunrise, his tragedy and warning echoing through history. The shocking end of Mike Markham's story ended with his death, alone and haunted by obsession. Years of isolation, failed experiments, and physical decline finally caught up. Fans mourned his passing, filling internet forums with messages of sorrow and tribute. Old videos resurfaced, scientists debated his ideas, and dreamers honored his courage. Markham's journey proves one thing: human passion for the unknown can outlast any invention. Mike Markham may not have conquered time, but he became a legend nearly as eternal. If you want more unbelievable science mysteries and real-life unsolved experiments, like and subscribe.